In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the lessons that I wish I had when I was just getting started or maybe making my first 5, 10, 15, 20K a month with my social media marketing agency. I'm going to tell you my story, how I got started in this industry, and share the 4 or maybe 5 lessons that I think have had the biggest impact on my success. This video is not going to be super edited. I'm not like some sort of guru. I don't have a Miami penthouse. I don't have crazy things inside of this watch. I have one nice watch. But I make these videos because I love talking about business. This business has changed my life. I want my kids to be able to watch these videos one day. And I want to share this with you in the hopes that this helps you get to where you want to go faster. I've also coached dozens of entrepreneurs and helped them start and scale marketing agencies. So I've got a lot of lessons that I've either had to pay a lot of money to learn or learn the hard way. And that's why I wanted to make this video. Now, before I get into it, I wanted to walk you through my journey just so you understand the context of where I'm coming from, and then I'll share with you the 4 or 5 things that I wish I knew when I got started, and the sauce that I think is really going to be able to help you scale. I started my journey really back in 2016. I was growing Instagram theme pages, which honestly, I was just posting memes online. That was the start of my first business. I tried 9 businesses before finally getting to the agency model, which is what I've run since 2019. And by 2018, the Instagram thing, posting memes and things like that on Instagram, was actually doing really well for me. I had gained over 1 million followers, but it wasn't making any money because I was running a meme page. There was no monetization vehicle on the back end of that. So in 2019, I realized that I could just take that skill set of learning how to grow Instagram pages and apply it to helping small businesses with their social media marketing. So what I did is I started by creating content, managing their social media accounts, and just working with some really small, like local style businesses while I was in college. This was 2019, so I was in my sophomore year of college at this point, and that agency did quite well. I learned how to do Upwork outreach, which is today the primary way that I get my clients in my agency, which is one of the ones that most people just completely overlook, which that might actually be some sauce. That Upwork is one of the least competitive places to find clients and one of the cheapest ways to get them. It costs us about $18 to get a client that pays us multiple thousands on the back end through that. So Upwork is what I learned to scale my agency. We quickly scaled to multiple 6 figures in the early 2020s. And in 2021, I actually started consulting. I was the head of client success for one of Europe's largest agency coaching programs. I helped like 2,000 people over the course of 4 years either start or scale agency businesses. So this is like really my special interest, which is why I make these videos. My clients collectively made millions of dollars through Upwork acquisition and just selling basic social media marketing services, like really simple services with a really good acquisition method on the front end. I supported that business to a 7 figure run rate, and now I just run my agency. And also, I'm starting to work with agency owners, founders, people who want to scale to multiple 6 figures to help them with the A to Z's of scaling. Today, I still run that agency, so I'm not like a guru. I still actually run the company day to day. My clients get a few 100 million views per year. Last year in 2025, they got about 430-ish million views, I think. And we turn $1 into around 420 in revenue through our Upwork acquisition system. All this to say, that's the context as to my journey. It was not an easy journey. It was not a fast journey. I'm not like this guy with the Lamborghini who's making millions and millions of dollars per year, but I know this one little field of business very, very well. This is my special interest. Now, the lessons that I've learned have been hard learned. It's been learned through the last 6 years of running that agency, through coaching and consulting with over 2,000 freelancers, startups, agency owners, etc. And also hiring mentors. Like, I've spent a ton of money on mentors, people whose names you would probably know if you're in the business space. But the lessons that I've learned, the things that have helped us scale to the point we're at now and do super well, the very first one is that we do things very differently from the rest of the agencies in the space, and that we are a product first business. What I mean by that is if you search on YouTube right now, social media marketing agency, you'll find hundreds of videos about getting clients, closing clients, sales calls, all sorts of stuff like that. 90% of the content in our space is all acquisition focused. And I think this is wrong. Like, really, what agencies are in our modern context is a glorified sales organization. All they do is sell, sell, sell all day. The good ones sell all day. The bad ones don't even close clients. The good ones are just selling all day long and they're trying to replace these clients. And they basically are just these big churn and burn sales organizations, which I think is silly. Most agencies have paid very little attention to product. They just delegate work out to like the Philippines, and they expect their clients to get results and stay with them forever, and that just does not happen. For us, we've taken the opposite approach. There's a quote that I heard, and this completely changed my perspective on starting or scaling an agency. You're doing sales because you failed at marketing. You're doing marketing because you failed at product. The idea with this is that sales is just some of the lowest leverage work that you can do. And usually that's all the work that agency owners do. Instead of actually building out a product with a promise or an outcome, not a guarantee, but instead of selling the actual outcome of the service, people are just doing sales all day long. We've taken a very different approach to this where we spend a lot of time in product. Because of that, 20 to 30% of all the clients that we're working with right now have come off the back of referrals. And our clients are very, very sticky. Our lifetime value is much, much higher, and our acquisition costs are low. And honestly, the business just kind of grows by itself because we do good work. Now, there's lots of different tactical ways that we've got to the point where we're product first business, but just this idea of being a product first business is a huge one for us. Number two is charging higher ticket. So again, I use Upwork for all of my client acquisition, and the way most people think about Upwork, they think about it as a freelancing site where most people are just looking for a bargain and they're just looking for a freelancer from somewhere cheap to delegate the work out to. And some of that is true, but if you haven't learned the skill of positioning, like you're going to struggle with this, whether it's Upwork, whether it's ads, whether it's something else. We've moved towards more higher ticket, like compared to the other freelancers and people we're competing against, our price is probably double that, but it actually works in our favor. One, because price is one of the best filters for clients. So if you're charging higher ticket, what happens is you get better clients. You get clients who are actually going to respect you and your time and your process. And because of that, I don't hate my business. That's a really important thing too, is like you have to build a business that you're actually going to want to scale. And if you're charging low ticket, you're just going to burn yourself out. You're going to completely lose all motivation to scale. So for us, we're trying to move the average floor price for our services to 1,500, which really isn't even that high ticket. It's actually quite low ticket in our world. But for social media organic services, it's quite high. So if you're running an ad agency, then you might want to charge $5,000, $10,000 a month. You might want to charge more of that high ticket price. For us, we do 1,500 a month is kind of what we want most people coming on board on. And we want them at that price point because it's less clients, they're easier to work with, it serves as a filter, and those clients are just going to be willing to involve themselves more in the process. Contrary to you thinking like because they're paying more, they want less involvement. For us, we've had to position ourselves as a done with you service. Like we've had to do client education and train our clients on how to be good partners for us. That way, we're not just the only ones who are responsible for the result. We actually partner with clients and our clients play into that process. And that's only because we've been able to charge higher prices. It's actually a great way to get a better quality client. Number three is that we sell our expertise, not our time or deliverables. This is really, really important. So again, that phrase, partnership, that was a huge unlock for me when I realized that businesses don't just want the deliverables, they don't just want the outcomes, they want to buy certainty. They want to buy a partner that they can really trust to be like their head, the person who guides the vision and the business. So that's really where our offerings lie. We're more of like a services consulting hybrid. And if you're not already doing some sort of like hybrid where you do services, but also you do consultations, you're missing out here because the consultations allow you to charge more. It also allows your clients to trust you more. It's going to take you a little bit more time to like have actual relationships with the clients. But if you're charging higher ticket, you have fewer clients on board who trust you, who never churn because the product is great. It's just a more sustainable model of business to sell expertise rather than like our time or deliverables. Especially because when you're selling time or deliverables, now you're competing head on with a freelancer or another agency that's going to sell the exact same package. When people buy from me, they buy the certainty of working with me. They buy the fact that I'll be able to help them holistically versus like most marketing agencies, they just do the marketing. And then if the sales, the product side is off, the client doesn't get results and they blame marketing. We don't do that. We actually support our clients through consulting on things like sales and product. So that way they can get 10 times more results with their marketing and actually stay on because they get the result. If you're just running a marketing agency, you're not in charge, not in charge, but if you're not touching those other fields, then your clients aren't going to get results and they're going to blame you, even though it's something that you have no responsibility for, but they still care about it. So this is really important that we actually charge for expertise rather than for our time or like for our deliverables. The other thing is getting out a delivery ASAP. We try to build a low delivery or a zero delivery model in the sense that like my team handles most of the day today, and it has to be that way for me to be the sharpest leader. I like to picture myself kind of as like the CSO, the chief scale officer of the business. My job, only job, is to focus on scaling this thing. It's not to handle so much on the client side. I have a team and I want them to protect my time, protect my mental load. And you have to build systems. And obviously, there's a ton of things you have to do to get to that point. But it's necessary if you want to scale. Or else you're just going to hate your business because you're just scaling a super high paying job. This one seems obvious, but I don't see agencies do this well. Most agencies, they have some founder involvement. They don't have any sort of productization of the service. And because of that, they don't have a model that can scale. Like it just does not work. And the last thing that I have is hiring mentors. I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to get to learn from other people, to either do like one-on-one consultation calls or to go and join programs, courses, books, whatever it is, right? I've spent so much money on this stuff because I am not smart enough to scale this business on my own. This is something that if you're not doing, you're you're falling behind. Like I was so resistant to the idea of buying courses for the longest time because I thought like, the reputation that courses have is that all of them are a scam. That's not true, right? If you're not buying courses, you're not buying coaching, then you're just going to have to figure things out on your own. And you're not smart enough to do it. Like humbly, you are not smart enough to do it. I'm not smart enough to do it. Invest generously in mentors. Like 8 to 12% of all the money you make should go right back into some sort of education, something that's going to help you scale. It's a really good rule of thumb. If you want to scale aggressively, and you want to learn things that you don't want to get burnt out. YouTube stuff is good, but what you're paying for with mentorship is someone to step in and like look over your shoulder and give you the hands-on direction. So if you're not already doing that, that's a mistake. Like you have to get on that ASAP. Those are the 4 or 5 things that I wish I knew when I was starting. I hope this video is helpful for you. If you guys have questions for me, you can DM me on Instagram. I'll leave my handle below. But I hope this helps, and I'll see you in the next one.